Welcome in, guys, and as you heard, Monday we had the firing of Nathaniel Hackett of the Denver Broncos, and I've been saying for weeks that this man, as a head coach, maybe in a couple of years he has a chance, but for right now in the 2020, as I've seen in the 2022 season, his coaching style, how he manages his team and the roster, has a lot to desire. And let's start off how this happened. So also we know that in the summer the Denver Broncos gave up a shit ton of picks to get. They wanted Aaron Rodgers, that's why they got Nathaniel Hackett. He was part of the deal. They thought, oh, we'll get Nathaniel Hackett who can come in. He knows Aaron Rodgers. He was the offensive guy. He was the assistant to the offensive guy. Remember, the actual full-time play caller in Green Bay was Getsy. Put him up. Put him up. Fucking, you seen what this asshole's been? And you know what Luke Getsey's been doing in Chicago with Justin Fields. So they wanted Nathaniel Hackett to come in, because that was going to get the deal to get Aaron Rodgers into Denver. He didn't go to Denver. He stayed in Green Bay. So they're like, oh, we need to get a quarterback. So we're going to go for the here and now. We're going to do what the Rams did last year and go for the here and now. And then Russell Wilson comes on the free agency on the trade market. A 9-time Pro Bowl in Russell Wilson. But you got to ask yourself, why was he on the trade market? Why would the Seattle Seahawks, after 12, 13 years of him being in Seattle and winning them a championship, why is he now on the trade market in his mid-30s? And why did he get rid of the franchise quarterback over a 7-year-old head coach in Pete Carroll? Again, that is a red flag in its own right. That the Seattle Seahawks that they want to get rid of Russell Wilson over the 70-year-old coach in Pete Carroll to do this rebuild. It's a red flag in its own right. So ultimately, they get Russell Wilson. Noah Fant goes the other way. Drew Lock goes the other way. He doesn't play anyway, but that's whatever. Geno Smith, and we all know what happens with the rest. Anyway, the guy that hires Nathaniel Hackett and brings in Russell Wilson was George Patton. George Patton as the GM. And the last couple of days, the Broncos have had new ownership, and they found the Broncos. Why the fuck are you having George Payton? Why the hell is he still in the job? Yes, Nathaniel Hackett had to be fired. You know, he can go into the college game and have a couple of head coaching jobs at the college level, then come back in a couple of years. But he wasn't ready. Again, not every guy, not every young head coach is going to be ready at the NFL level. Like, you look at Matt Nagy, he was a dumpster fire. Look at Urban Meyers last year. He didn't get fired just because he was a bad head coach, which he was, and he should never get hired again. He was fired because those guys were fired and bad because they're not good at the NFL level. Now, Nathaniel Hackett, he's 43, 44 years old. He still has time to help and get better. Maybe he can go back to Green Bay and be the full-time offensive coordinator in Green Bay and learn there, or he can go into the college game, whatever. But again, if I'm the Denver front office, this new ownership, fire George Patton, because again, do you really trust him to be another head coach? The head coaches that are rumored or speculated are Dan Quinn, and also this is because, we want to see the best of Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson's been bad. He's mid. Russell Wilson is mid. He's past his best. It's like I said earlier in the year with Matt Ryan. People saying, I heard these analysts on ESPN Monday were like, there's got to be somewhere you can get something out of Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is past it. He's 34 years old. There's a reason why that the Seattle Seahawks traded in their franchise quarterback and kept their head coach, because Russell Wilson is past his best. The fact of the matter is, you've got yourself in this big dilemma that if you release it, in my opinion, if you keep until 2024, you're going to have dead cap space of $60 million, but if you release him at the end of this year, in 2023, you only get $39 million of dead cap space. So release him this year, cut ties of all things. Okay, cut ties of all things, and the people that are coming in, Dan Quinn, he's linked because of the whole Russell Wilson. He was the defensive core in Seattle for a couple of years. He got the Atlanta job. He got to the Super Bowl with Atlanta. And that's why he's getting there. Again, they have an elite defense, but again, their offense kind of sucks. Their offense is bad. And then other things like the Kobe Ryan from the 49ers, he's done great this year. Again, I could see him getting a coaching job in the summer at some point. Shane Stanek, the offensive core from the Eagles. Again, they've got the third best offense in the league. He's going to get a head coaching job anyway. But does he want to go to Denver and work with an aging quarterback? Again, if he's going to go somewhere, where you can build a project. And then he's averaged. Shane Statham is averaging 29.9 points. And then let's talk about their stats, the Denver Broncos stats. They're 20th in the passing yards. Again, you look at that first game of the year. Russell Wilson comes back to Seattle, and Nathaniel is like, instead of giving it to Russell Wilson, we're gonna punt it to Brandon McManus and let's hope he hits the field goal from like 55 yards. Instead of Russell Wilson's here, he can throw the ball and get you a touchdown. In rushing yards, they're 23rd in the league with 107.5. And then points for 15.5. They're tied 25th with points against. So again, it's a whole, in my opinion, new ownership. They need a new general manager because George Payton, again, people say, oh, Sean Payton's going to come in and leave his NFL analyst job. It's a pipe dream. It's just bullshit. What the hell is he going to do with Russell Wilson? He's an aging quarterback that Father Time's caught up with him. He needs to retire. Found the Broncos. Restart. You fired the head coach Nathaniel Hackett because he wasn't the guy and the job was way over his head. You should have fired George Patton because again, this guy was the guy that sanctioned the Russell Wilson deal and you got rid of multiple trades for the 2023 draft and released Russell Wilson out of his contract early in 2023 and okay, you get $39 million in cap space, dead cap space, but again, you can deal with that. It's better than waiting until 2024 where you have $60 million in dead cap space and then you've got a bigger problem than you have now. So yeah, maybe guys thoughts on Nathaniel Hackett being fired by the Denver Broncos.